Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone, and welcome, Dave. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me, Amy. Good to see you again.
Oh my goodness, I keep dwelling on all of this knowledge that you keep sharing with me. So I know it's been quite a few weeks, even though this is brand new. It started, I think, November 30th with the chat GPT. And you had shared it with me, and I thought, oh wow, this is cool, and I just never really dove into it. And then now, within weeks later, it's all over the place. So I finally jumped aboard, took a little look into it myself, and started playing with it, and I am so blown away by its capabilities. And I'm realizing I'm starting out very elementary, but how would you recommend, who is this for, and how would you recommend people start using it?
It's really for everyone. It's not really got any limits as such at the moment. Although if you look at the tech behind it, there's obviously room for improvement. But you can be a copywriter and work with it. You can be an author. You can be, somebody who's into poetry. You can even look at illustrations and work like that. It's got lots and lots of facets to it. And even in my space with crypto, metaverse, and Web3 and all those sort of things, there are use cases for around that as well. So the tech itself is not new, but the way that this is being used certainly is. And search engines, in my opinion, will someday be a thing of the past. I think the way that this communicates will eventually replace that as it gets smarter and smarter. But yeah, I think it's for a lot of people. Yes, there's risks of it replacing jobs, but we've had this with other tech in the past. We evolve, we adapt, we go with the flow, and then we learn other skills. And people will be paying other people because of their knowledge of GPT and whatever else precedes it. So it's going to create other opportunities, that's for sure.
That was so awesome. So I know you and I have had several talks on this, and I really started to play with it and just see how can I use this for my industry. And there's so many industries I've seen people talk on where it's actually passed, I think, the medical exam. It's passed the bar for attorneys. Like it's crazy how much information is on here, and how even you can take what you're working on, your project, and you can run it through. And you shared with me, and it made so much more sense when I started to use it, is the better questions you could ask, or the better way you could structure how you were speaking to it,
Yeah,
the better output that you were getting coming back to you. And I found that to be so true.
Okay, the best way to describe that, in life, there's that phrase that goes around: the more you put in, the more you get out. It's very true. You will get not very good output when you have small input, and it gets better as you put more in. So the better the input, the better the output. And there's a term that I came across a few months ago called prompt engineering. And I wondered what it was, kind of put it to the back of my head. And then 6 weeks ago, I saw it again. So I studied about it, I looked into it, and basically, when you ask a chat box, which is basically what we're doing, and this is so difficult because I remember the very first time I saw chat bots, I hated them, I didn't like them. You'd be on a website and you'd see them appear and you just wanted the thing to go away because you knew what you wanted. That's the sort of person I am. But with these things now, and especially with chat GPT, they're so sophisticated, you can ask them a lot of stuff. But if you go, write me a book, it'll write you a book. But what do you want the book about? So if you say, I want to write a book about cities I like, and mention, say, Chicago, Los Angeles, Kansas, New York, and it'll write about those subject matters. But it still will be quite, it won't be very good. So to make it more interesting, you need to think a little bit laterally, a little bit outside the box. And the best prompts that anyone can start with is this: you are an expert in, and whatever the in is, you could be an expert in cryptography because it might be crypto related, or you are an expert blogger, you are an expert on TikTok, you are an expert on Facebook. Write me a post that's SEO, that's got humor, that's got this, that's got that. And by the way, the subject is about that. And you put it in and it will do it. And it will produce it in under 10 seconds. And you can even prompt it further. I want you to space every sentence by a clear line, and it will do that for you. And you can ask it to highlight the first word of every sentence, and it will do that for you. So you haven't got to do that on Word later on. So what it won't do is write like a human. So that's where the catch is. So there are other tools. Quillbot is one, where you can take that text that you've generated, because this is a text generating tool, and you can copy that into this, and you can get it to rewrite it so it will avoid AI detection, plagiarism, and all this sort of thing. But if you use words like original, organic, and those sort of things, you might get lucky. And actually I have, where I've copied some stuff, put it on there, and it's detected it as human input 100%. None of it was just my words and so forth. There are many extensions that you can get now for Chrome and for Brave and whatever browser that you use that will help you do that. And Quillbot's another one I'd suggest. There are others, GPT prompts, there's GPT writer. These are also other extensions that you can have on your browser. And all you got to do is just install it, and it works away in the background for you. So from a writing perspective, you can all of a sudden think, I want to write a book, and I want to write a novel about a little girl who has got a best friend who's a rabbit, and they have an adventure somewhere in Australia, and blah, blah, blah. I said, I've actually done that with a poem. I wanted to write a poem about, a kid and a possum. They lived in Sydney. They were traveling across to the west in Perth, and it was all about that adventure. And it designed something for me that was fantastic. And going even steps further, ChatGPT is part of OpenAI, and they've got tools in there which you can get imaging. There's other tools outside which you can put videos together and things like that. This is the whole thing about artificial intelligence now. The limit will be your creativity. So if you want something, as I say over here, vanilla, quite sort of plain and bland and everything else, that's what you'll get. But if you've got plenty of ideas and you prompt it correctly, even if you don't first time round, you're having a conversation with it, which is why it's different from Google. You can't have a conversation with Google. You go into the search, you go, I don't know, do me a keto recipe or diet plan for that. You'll find one somewhere, but you'll have to go through 6 or 7 websites to find the one that you like. We all do it. With this, it will write one for you. It will write code. It will write a diet plan. It will write a business plan. It does all that. So if you're starting out in business, it will do all this. So it's very, very handy, and it's going to get better as input goes in, because it will remember what it's seen and it will store that. And how that works, I've got no idea. Don't have to, but I just know that when I've used it since, it's just got better and better in terms of its productivity.
Yeah, that's so awesome. So when we spoke last week, I was so excited, and I just, retained a little bit of what you shared. And so each time I speak with you, I'm getting a little bit better and understanding it for more and more. But I literally took the "you're an expert" and used that line, and I put it in. I thought, I'm going to just do a post for my son's business. And so I ran it in. I asked it a simple question, and it wrote such an amazing, accurate description of the benefits. And that's all I wanted was, why would somebody want to have their car wrapped? What's the benefits of it? And I posted it, and my son said, because that's his business, that's his expertise. He's like, wow. He was blown away, first of all, that his mom would write something like that. So I had to share, actually, I didn't write it. And so he's like, well, what did you ask it? And the question was so simple, and yet it gave me such detailed and well wrote out answer. And so I had a meeting to go to, and I so wanted to skip my meeting. I hate to say it, I just wanted to play with this. And how you talked about writing you in human form and speaking to you like a human. Well, I thought, okay, I was just being cheeky, and it's on my own computer in my own home and just being stupid after I write this. So I wrote, I love you, Chat GPT. And I just did it as like a whatever, just being goofy in my own home. And it wrote me back, thank you. I'm so happy that you were happy, or whatever. And however I can be of assistance, please feel free to ask. Like, it was crazy. It wrote it just like someone would speak to you. And I was just being goofy. I was just like, because I was blown away by what it had wrote. And I'm like, it's crazy how it's literally like speaking to another human. And that it could answer you back, even me just being stupid. I wasn't really expecting a response. And here I got that back.
It's quite incredible because the co-founder of LinkedIn is a guy called Reid Hoffman. He did a podcast, and it was him talking to someone else. The someone else was generated by Chat GPT. He's also involved in I think he's either the chairman of OpenAI, which is the parent company sitting on top, or Chat GPT. But he's involved, definitely. He's one of the original VCs with helping to fund it as well. So he's very aware that in future this type of technology will be on Microsoft type products. You'll see it on LinkedIn. You'll see it on a lot of these social medias, because it does work well with things like that. We've got stuff in the background that works on there anyway, but this is just much, much better than it's ever than anything else that's been in existence in terms of the technology. There are other associated products that have seen this growth spurt that have upped their game as well. So you can generate images by text input. You can generate videos by the same method. You can generate your voice by typing in. You can have your voice recorded, and you don't have to record every single word that's ever been invented or written as such. It's just a cross section. It goes away and it reproduces that for you. So that now is starting to take away that robot-y thing that you hear when you hear an obviously made by AI type product. So it's getting very, very smart, this technology. And I think from a human perspective, the smart thing to do would be not to let it get too far that we are no longer required, that we are surplus to requirement. I'm not convinced that's going to happen in my lifetime, but it could do. Who knows what's around the corner? There's so many brilliant minds out there that come up with things, but sometimes brilliant minds can be the most dangerous as well. So we've got to be really careful with that. And that's my fear of going in all guns blazing. I think we've got to take a bit of a, as we say in the UK, a measured look, and take a step back, analyze it, see what's what, and then go from there. But there's some incredible stuff out there. It's only going to get better.
This morning I was playing with it and just putting some different things in. So I had been working on a book for a while. And so I put in, about like what would somebody be searching for if they were looking for a subject like that. And what it came back with was so amazing, because it actually tapped into my emotion. So my book is Incarcerated, a Mother's Anguish and a Father's Heart. So it's on such a deep and hard topic. And for its response to come back, it brought up thoughts, invoked, emotion. And I was like, wow, this is so good, because when you live through something or you're working on something, you're in the emotion, and then there becomes a business side of something that emotion gets pushed down. And for a computer to be able to re-bring up and connect you to emotion and also help you, to serve people better. Because
Yeah.
now I hear so many videos, people talking about, oh, you can write your low content, medium content, throw it up on, KDP, which is how I'm going to publish my book. But my book is very deep. It's very in depth. It's not low content. And yet this is so relevant, even though I'm not using it to write my book, it's allowing me to go back to kind of correct things. So it's not wrote as Amy, the makeup artist, Amy, the ditzy girl. It's wrote in a better format where it's more fluid. And I think the power behind that's great. And I found also just playing with it, and how you had talked about, being creative. So many times people have been more in their left brain. They've been more analytical. And so I think what it's going to do is actually raise your analytical side, because you're getting so much more information quicker. But also, I think it's going to tap people into their creative side. I think it's going to actually grow creativity in people. And so I can see, obviously there's good and bad to everything. There's always opposites, but I can see how this could really be in the greater good for people, as we move from where we were now into the artificial intelligence age, and that's where everything's going.
Yeah. As you were talking, I was thinking of like book writing as a great example. One of the things that can take, I'm not going to say everybody, but some people, a long time is planning it. So you don't wake up one day and go, I'm going to write a book, and then you write it. It doesn't work like that. You have to know, well, give it a title. How many chapters are you going to have? How many pages are there? What's it about? How are we going to split this story up? Because a book, like everything that we do, is storytelling. So that can be done for you. So you could go into Chat GPT and go, you are an expert author of 40 years experience. Plan a book about, and whatever the subject is, and sure enough, it will do it. Now, it might do it in a way where it's got point number 1, 2, 3, 4. If it does that, the great thing is you can go back and go, right, point number 1, right, that's got something. I want to go deeper. And all you got to do is, regarding point number 1, explain deeper or go deeper, and it will do it. It will produce some further information that you can use. And once you've got that, you can then jump to 2 and 3 and 4. If there's 10 there, go right the way through. And you'll have a really, really comprehensive plan. And some of these extension things that you can get, because one of the challenges is, because it produces a lot of information, is copying and pasting it onto a Word document can be a bit of a challenge. Well, that's no longer, because there's an extension where you just go click, copy, paste, done. It's all dumped in there all at once. And you might have to format it a little bit, but it's all done and stored for you. But even still, you could have a power cut as you've got the last bit and it's outed out. It's still saved on their system, so it doesn't go away unless you delete it. So that's quite handy as well. And I think what that does as well, it helps the actual Chat GPT platform become better, because it's getting used to certain questions that are asked, and it's getting more intelligent. So that's obviously going to be helpful for other people going forward. But there's so many things when you've got bullet points of stuff, and with my work that happens a lot. I go, yeah, it does say a little bit about what it is, but I want to go deeper. And you can also go the other way, have it explain something for a mature student that's got equal experience, blah, 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 blah. It will produce something. And then you can say, right, do it again, but for a 12-year-old, and it will do it. And you think, right, that's genius, that. I like that. So you've got 2 pieces of content from one idea. So if you've got a training program and you've got different age groups that you're going through, so if you're working, helping people understand, better mindset, or you're coaching them in some shape or form, it could probably be used to do that too. I haven't thought of that because I'm not in that area, but I can't see many limits at the moment. Yeah, there are some where, you know, the big thing at the moment is there's 75 million users using this now. Now, to put that into perspective, and let's hope I got my maths right, 75 million times 10 is 750 million. That basically is all the people that live from the tip of Canada to the bottom of South America, 750 million. Stick another zero at the end, that's 7.5 billion. That's more or less the population. So 1% are using it. And it's got to such a capacity stage now where a lot of people are complaining because they can't get on it. Well, they're not paying for it yet. So I don't know why. It's still in beta stage. It's not the finished article. So this is inevitable. It will happen. But as it gets clever and more sophisticated, and they have a paywall system, which I'll probably use, that's when it will be so super good. The likes of browsers and that, for me, won't be needed. I just won't need them.
Yeah, I think that's so good. And when you think of the number of people that have joined something that is so brand new, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And that just shows you that it's going to just continue to explode because, you know, literally, it's only been around weeks.
Yeah.
You know, it's not even been around a year. It's not even been around 6 months or
Yeah.
even a quarter of a year, which is just really incredible to think that many people. But I think right now it's a novelty to some, it's a business to some, and it's oh wait, I've got to step into this new era. And I feel like it's all of the above for me.
Yeah.
So I want to learn how to use this as a business tool, you know, also having fun with it, you know. So I think just to see where it goes and how people use it and how can I grow as a person, as a business owner, as, you know, a mom, like any area. I was even thinking today, like I have a billion things always going through my head. So 1 minute I'm thinking about, oh, I need to lose weight. How do I do it? The next minute I'm thinking about, I need to grow a business. How am I going to do that? And it's, you could literally, if somebody was to read my questions, they'd be like, what the heck is going on in her brain? But I was thinking, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to ask it today how to lose X amount of weight in X amount of time and what supplements. And it's crazy to know that better than going to a weight loss doctor or, you know, spending thousands of dollars on somebody writing me up a custom program, I can ask it a couple of questions and it can print out specific to my age, to my height, to my weight, to my goals, to my time frame, to my everything, a customized, you know, plan. And that just blows my mind that you can save money in so many areas and you can have it custom to you.
It's not just money, it's the time. So here's the thing, you can have all right, I'm trying to think of a really good example. Okay, so what you, let's say for instance, you post video content on YouTube. So you're a YouTuber, but you're not there in your YouTube set. You can hear, we can hear you, but we can't see you. So you've got artificial intelligence generated type videos, and there's lots of platforms that do that. So you can have that done, but one of the problems that some of those have is having the script. But guess what? Ask AI to write it for you. You can feed it through, it will write a script. Or you could go, I want to talk about supplements today. You know, vitamin A, B, C, D, and E, for whatever reason. It will give you a script that you can use with YouTube, with the YouTube videos. It will give you one that you can, you know, have visible. You could use that as a talk, you know, you can talk into it and produce whatever content that you like. So the lists are really they're massive. There's so many. What it doesn't do, it doesn't scrape the internet. It's been fed information over a period of time, so it's not online. It's not on a server as we know it. So not like Google or Bing, any of those type of guys. They're on a server. This thing isn't. When it does go down from time to time, it's purely because there's so many people overloading whatever system it's using. It's got to the stage where it's struggling to cope. And that's, in a way, that's a good thing, because it shows that there's the demand, the requirement, and it will help them formulate the business plan to wherever they're going to take that. So that's one of the other advantages. And the thing I keep going back to it, the fact that you can have a two-way conversation where you ask, it comes back with something, and then you ask it again, and you keep going and going and going until you get to the, that's what I want. And I can now put that out as a TikTok video, or I can do this or do that. That's when you go, I've done it. I've done it. And then you look at your watch and you think, well, it's only taken an hour or 20 minutes or whatever time it's taken. Whereas it might take you a few days. So people that are getting paid from companies to write content, they can do this thing in minutes. They can save an awful lot of time. And if they're smart, they can charge still the same rates, but work with more customers. Because I know a few of these people that are turning work away because they're too busy. Well, now all of a sudden they can be hyper busy without being tired, giving themselves time to spend with their friends and family and doing what they really like. No one loves working 24/7. I've met people that say that they do, and I don't believe them. It doesn't exist. You have to have me time, downtime, and all the rest of it. And this stuff will certainly help you get that way. Yeah, at first, novelty factor, you get carried away, and before you know it, you've been on it for 18 hours or what have you, and you've got eyes like this. But if you have a plan and get the thing to write it for you, you can avoid all that. You can go away and go, right, I'm done in 3 hours, I'm going down the park, or I'm going to meet some friends for dinner or something. You know, it's just got a lot of that sort of capacity and capability for people.
Yeah, and you talked about using this even on like social media and YouTube and all of that. It's so great because you could already have an idea of what you want to post, but you don't have the time to literally write everything up. You can give it a direction. You could have already created the content, and now you just need to add something to it, and you don't have to think about it. You could literally be in your car driving somewhere and ask it a question, copy and paste, and there you go. And then I started thinking too, so in marketing, you have, if you hire an agency, they will market you, right? Or they will have a done for you, or they will have a done with you. And there's always going to be people who say, I just don't want to learn one more thing. I just don't want to take the time, even though I see how this is a time saver. In some people's head, this will also be taking from them because they've not taken the time to realize how much it can save them. So there's still opportunity to work with somebody and do a done for them or a done with them type business, you know?
Yeah, it's the limit is one's thoughts. That's really the bottom line. You know, you could help so many people. The problem we've all got is we don't know where they all are yet. Until we ask, we're never going to find that out. So if you've got a niche market that you want to sort of expand in, where all of a sudden you've got a rush of people, well, 2 months ago, that would have been a real issue. You know, I haven't got time. I don't want to be working till 11 in the evening and all this sort of thing. You won't have to now, because this is lightning quick. And once you've got used to working with it, you won't use it as much as you think, because you yourself will just get quicker and faster, and you'll get into a routine and a template. We've all got templates, and you'll have a template somewhere up there where you go, I've done this before, and all of a sudden those questions are out. I don't type much because I'm a guy and I'm not very fast at typing. When I can, and it's ideal on my phone, I talk to it, so I talk into it. I use a Mac, an iMac, and my microphone facility doesn't work with Chat GPT, but I've found an extension today actually that I'm going to play with tomorrow that does, and I've used it, and it's dead simple to use. So I can be writing something, I can press the keyboard and dictate whatever I've written into there as a question, for argument's sake, and bang, and that'll be a lot quicker me doing that than actually typing. And there's even more productivity there, because that's probably one of the functions that we've got a lot, that all of us have got on our phone that we hardly use. I don't write text as much unless I'm in an environment where I've got to be quiet. I talk. I do the same with WhatsApp and Telegram, and even emails. I talk into Word and it just produces all the thing. That's AI. That's that technology. So it's been around for ages. It's just that this thing now is just very, very smart, and it's going to get better.
You know, it's so funny that you spoke about speaking things into it versus typing it. So that's what I do. And everyone yells at me, and I joke. I always say, "Oh, my Google doesn't understand me." Like Google's a person. But because my text or anything I send is so freaking scrambled. Like it's so bad. Like it's not even a little bad, it's so bad. And then I think, oh, either I have a habit of just hitting send and going, oh crap, that is nothing that I said. Or I think I fixed something and then all of a sudden it changes it instantaneously as I'm sending it. I'm like, wait, I still fixed you and you resent it wrong. Or I get it half like corrected and then I think I'm good to go. What I actually found is, and I've only been playing with this for a week now. Today makes literally 1 week from the first time I've ever used it. And I haven't had a lot of time on it, just a little bit. But I'm really impressed that when I speak into it, it's pretty much what I said. And that blows my mind, because I know if I text or I send emails, I speak my emails half the time when I'm writing them. And I'm like, I gotta stop because it's so bad. And so I'm really impressed with this.
Sometimes, and I do this especially with LinkedIn when I'm replying to direct messages. I'll go, cracky, I've got all these things to respond to. So microphone goes on, I talk into it. If you look at it and wait, just don't. I used to do what you do. You should stand it up. Christ, that's gone out wrong. Don't want that. Now I wait for it, and it does adjust it. It's very clever. I'm all iOS over here, so I like iPhone's simplicity. It's always worked for me. So any program that I can talk to and I'm in the position to do it, I will. And I wait for it to go, and I go, oh, I'm happy with that. There are iPhone are doing this, and I think Samsung have started doing it as well. There will be times where you've sent a text, the old-fashioned text, an SMS, when you're going, oh, I didn't want to say that, and you can actually recover that. That's,
oh my God,
you know,
that's amazing.
Yeah, because all it's doing is it's going on the server and then it goes down. But what they're doing is just delaying it for maybe 30 seconds. So if you pick it up quick enough, go, oh no, I don't want that, you can recover it. Same with email. I mean, that's going to be a godsend for a lot of people that, you know, are angry about something, send it, and then once they've sent it, they regret sending it. You know, that's part of the course. So things are going to start to become reversible as well, reverse engineering in communication. It's nuts, but it's
Wow.
It's going to be useful in some quarters, yeah.
I love that. I gotta tell you, every time I speak with you, you blow my mind. You are so on top of what's going on, whether it be in cryptocurrency, whether it be in technology, or just in business in general. And so, you know, real quick before we kind of continue on, if somebody wants to work with you, how do they find you? What's the best way to seek you out?
Well, the best way is probably on LinkedIn. I don't do much social media other than that, and I've got you know, I'm there as Dave McCall. I can be found there. I think my actual handle is Dave McCall Metaman or something like that. But yeah, you can see me on there. Obviously, I'm connected with you, Amy, so that would be another route as well.
I will share your LinkedIn in the comments down below, but I just want people to always know, like, you are available. This is what you do for a living. I joke, I'm a makeup artist, I'm a coach, I do all these different things, but this is your area of expertise. You spend time and you have business partners that you guys solely work within this realm. You help people build their portfolio. You help people learn the latest technology. Like every time I talk to you, you're always telling me the latest, the newest, and you're so on top of it. And I think as an entrepreneur, or just anyone trying to get to the next point in life or investments, you're such an asset, such a resource for that. So I just want to thank you, like, even as we had these chats, and also just thank you for being available for my community, for someone to say, hey, here's somebody that I know I can trust, because there's so many shiesty people out there when it comes to crypto, when it comes to new things that are coming out. For me, I want to make sure I'm linking arms with somebody that I can trust,
Yeah.
and that's going to give me the best advice for me. We
mean,
all have different circumstances.
Yeah, and thank you for those kind words. It's I'm not a geek. I just like tech. I like things that can make people's lives easier, and also I quite like stuff that's good for the planet. Another product that I've not really spoken about that I'm involved in is it's a digital business card, where there's a lot of them about, but this is the only one in the world where you can send the card to someone, whether it's by text, whether it's by email, and you can track who's seen that card. Now, we've got rules in the UK that we have to abide to. We can't just email people out of the blue. We've got to have a reason to write to them. So I can't send an email to davesmith@hotmail.com on the basis that that's his private address to solicit for business. We could get fined for that. It's quite big as well. So this product is also compliant with GDPR, which is the regulation that I'm referring to. And what that means is I then can see that I've passed my card to Amy. Amy's passed it to her friend, her sister, her mum, etc., etc. I've got a legitimate reason to contact them, and I'm covered by that fact. Now that's big, and that's going to become very, very sought after in the States. There's a few people have gotten, but it's going to be, wow, we can't be doing with any fines or anything like that. The downside with carrying a cardboard or even a plastic card, they get damaged, they get lost, they can get burnt, they can get, with paper, it can get water damaged. This thing, you don't tend to throw your phone out. So you've got it there 24/7. And let's face it, it looks kind of cool when you go, I'll just scan that QR code and you've got all my details. And I've got my Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, my 2 websites, obviously my email address. It's everything about me is on there, and that's easy to set up, and it's quite cheap as well.
I love that. I love that you have a tracking system on that. So I had told you before, I had signed up with Dot, which was a free service on a similar thing, but it doesn't have the capabilities of what you're sharing. Like, I can put one website on it, I could put my social media on it, and it's come in handy, and I've appreciated having it. But to be able to track, that is powerful.
Yeah, and it's legitimate, because when you contact someone and say, look, I've noticed that you've got a copy of my card, etc. I'm just reaching out to see if there's anything I can help you with. One, you're not selling, because people hate being sold to. You've done the right thing. It will jog their memory, and they might actually seen something that they want to do anyway. Or they might want to link up with you on Facebook. They might have seen something on your Instagram that caught their eye. It's just another tool that people can use. And the tracking is great. It's web-based. There isn't an app, but you can create an app for it. And there's a reason for that, because when you do an app, and I didn't know this, that data captures, and people hate that now. We're starting to come away from that. And that's why, and we'll be talking about this in weeks down the line, that's why things like Web3 are going to become more of a thing than they are already. That people are going to start to think, yeah, I need to look at this. I mean, I've got a decentralized website that I can do the same thing. I can put Twitter on there, I can put LinkedIn and everything else. I've chosen not to, because I don't want it to be in too many places. But the best thing is I can give you the details of that website, and if you've got a payment for me that's all the popular ones like Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, etc., instead of that long number that you have for your wallet, mine's really memorable. It's Dave's web3.x. I will never ever forget that. I've chosen that for a reason. It's a nice short one. So I don't have to worry about, oh yeah, my Meta wallet, what is it? I don't have to worry about that because it's already there. And that's smart stuff as well that we'll probably cover in the next few weeks.
No, that's so crazy. So I know we've kind of went off topic and went a different direction. I think we're going to go deeper into this next week for sure. But I'll tell you, I sat there and I had my phone stolen. And it was an old phone. It wasn't even one I was using, but I had a lot of photos on it. I had different things that I hadn't transferred. And I had my Coinbase account on there. I had all my every like different place that I had invested in crypto. Now I don't have much money into it. So it's not like, oh crud. But it is because I was like, wait, I don't remember, because they make you put so many different things into all your passwords, where I had it on that phone. I could literally just put my finger on it and open it up and see everything. So now I've got to go and try to access, all of my things. So I love how this kind of protects it and simplifies it. I think we have so many things. We have passwords too. We have so many different things that are kind of all over the place that just to put it nice and tight in one spot is great.
I think I've got lots of stuff on my phone, and I'd be horrified if that happened to me, where I had my phone stolen, because virtually everything is on there, and I'm not unusual. I think we're the norm in terms of that. But here's the thing: in time, and manufacturers are getting clever as well. If you've stolen a phone, you won't be able to get into it unless it's under extreme circumstances. It'll be things like the police. They'll be able to open it up and find out who you are. If you're sort of dead, and trace your relatives and such like. But even that, iPhone have got a 999 and a first line emergency number that you can just ring. It just works. Samsung probably do the same. But when you've got your life in there, in time, it will respond just to either our eyes, our mouth. I mean, it's there already, but it will be better, where whoever steals whatever you've got will be worthless to them. That's got to be good. I personally think that maybe in the shortest 10 years, we won't be using mobile phones anymore. It'll be something else. It might be something we're wearing through our ears or eyes or on our head. I don't know.
Well, it's kind of scary and crazy. I definitely know and agree that we're going to be in a different realm. But when you listen to what Google was trying to do, you listen to what Elon Musk is trying to do, and literally making man with machine, like that scares the crap out of me. I will be left behind, because I will not be inserting anything into my brain to become part of the machine. But that's the direction. And so their plan is very short term for there not to be a need for cell phones.
I don't know why they're thinking that. Maybe it's the scenario where, I mean, I don't have any pets, but dogs have got chips in them because the owners want to keep tagging on it. I understand that. Is that where we're going? Don't know.
It's the plan. That's what's crazy. That is definitely the aim that these companies are moving towards, and that part's scary. Love technology, love everything that it's doing, and hopefully we can continue to have companies that are AI for good.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool.
Well, thank you so much. This was amazing talking with you. We will definitely be picking up next week. So you guys make sure you log in next week, and it always is up sometime on Wednesday. I'm going to get better about being exact, so you guys know, hey, this is the moment it's going up. But definitely every Wednesday, check out my Facebook, check out LinkedIn. I tag Dave and everything that I post. And if you have questions, drop it down in the comments. If you'd like to join us, you're like, hey, you know what? I want to ask questions that Amy's not thinking of. Like what information do you want to know? Make sure you drop it down, or just say, hey, I want to join you guys. And we will definitely bring you in to join us. So thank you again, Dave, for joining me. And thank you guys for watching us.
Thanks for having me. Well done.